Hey friends, it's Jenna, and today I originally intended to shoot a video about doing a digital bullet journal, but that's been put off because this little beauty arrived a full week before I expected it. So I'm going to instead do a little video about the Alphasmart Neo2 and writing technology. Now, I first heard of the Alphasmart when I was doing Nanowrimo for the first time in 2013. It had a very enthusiastic following. It still does on the Nanowrimo forums. There we go. I keep thinking formats. No, that's not the right word. And so, it's always kind of been in the back of my mind, but I've always kind of been more interested in like the cutting edge of technology. I should probably have my hands here so you can see me. For instance, I bought my first iPad mini in about 2012, mostly because I wanted, it was nifty. And it just seemed like it would be more useful to me than the netbook that I had at the time, which didn't have a whole lot of juice to it. And the iPad seemed like it would have a lot more and be able to do more stuff, which did. And I used that quite regularly until I upgraded to the iPad Pro about 3 years ago or so. And I liked the Pro. It had a lot of really nifty functionality. But since they introduced the Gen 5, I was really interested in that because you can use your Apple Pencil with it. Ta-da! The Apple Pencil. Such a nifty thing. And it gives you most of the functionality of an iPad Pro, but just in a tinier, this little size, which is a lot easier for me because, as you may be able to see, my hands are tiny, and so holding the Pro for long periods of time was actually kind of painful. So I gave it to one of my brothers because I figured he could use it more, at the very least, to keep him playing Farmville in a better, more comfortable screen than his phone. But I do love my iPad. I do think it's a great piece of machinery and I really enjoy using them. But I've had a lot of trouble concentrating enough to write with it. And I think that has a lot to do with making the mental switch between working and creating. Because I am using, my laptop and my iPad to job search, to search for gigs, that kind of thing. And it's, when you finish the day, it does help to do that mental shutting of the door, It's like, okay, I'm done doing this. I'm going to do this now. And keeping it separated between the laptop and the iPad has been kind of difficult because I'm always, working from one or the other. And so when I need to write or want to write, it's just opening a new program, and that's no fun. And apparently it's not enough to do that mental closing off. So I started thinking about getting a distraction-free unit of some sort. And I was thinking about the FreeWrite, which I've been following their development ever since they were the Hemming-Write back in the day. And they're nice little machines. They're cute. The Traveler looks like it's going to be a really useful thing, but the price point is so high. And my income is so unreliable that I thought I just don't want to pay, almost $400 or $600, depending on the unit, for something that only does one thing. I'm happy to pay that for my iPad, which does a zillion things, but not so much for just a word processor. So then I remembered the Alphasmart exists, and they're still out there. So I've actually been looking at videos and reading listings on eBay and Amazon for the last couple weeks, just to kind of refresh myself on what they are and what they do. And on Amazon, I found a seller that was selling the Neo2s in a new condition, and he said he was doing it just as new instead of brand new, because he didn't have the box, but otherwise they hadn't been used. And as I'm sure you can see, I did an unboxing earlier and then realized that my camera was pointing the wrong direction the whole time, so you missed all that. But as you can see, it's in really good shape. There are no scratches or dings. There was a little piece of plastic here that you had to pull to, you know, get the batteries to connect to what they need to connect to. And yeah, here it is. Nice color. Beautiful sound on the keyboards. They have such a nice give. If you like a chunky keyboard, this is going to be really nice for you. And it works just fine. And as you can see, I've been messing around a little bit with it. This is an idea that I took from another YouTuber who works with Alphasmarts. Is you have an index with your, you know, what your files are going to be. So I'm planning to use this to continue working on Continuo, which is my current major work in progress, and any other stories that I do rough drafts on this year. My plan for July's Camp Nanowrimo is actually to do rewrites on a story called True North, which I originally wrote back in 2012 and edited again about 2 years ago, I guess, and then had a beta reader read. And so now that Fidel is finally releasing its grip on my brain, I'm getting to work on other stuff and things that I've been neglecting for quite some time. I want to get back to those. So editing and stuff probably won't take place so much on the Neo. It'll be more for Ulysses, where I can move things around and all that sort of stuff. A lot easier than a plain text program. But when it comes time to rough draft, this will be my place, my thing for it. And this is very lovely. I'm just excited. I love technology. I won't say that I always have, but I have a lot for the last 20 years. And I love gadgets, and I love new things to play with. And, you know, whenever I've bought a new piece of tech, the feeling's always been new toy, new toy. So that's what I'm feeling right now, you know, new toy, new toy. I get to do stuff with it. Yeah. So, oh, that was an odd little noise. Anyway, so yeah, Alphasmart Neo2. It's gorgeous. It's really nice to use. It feels good in the hand. It cost me a little over $100. I bought an external power cord as well that hasn't arrived yet. This actually came a full week before I expected it to, so I'm just thrilled that this is here right now. Yeah, if you have any questions, I can see if I can answer them for you or find somebody who knows. But to be honest, it's a really simple machine. You know, it doesn't have any real moving parts or anything. It doesn't have any disc whatsits. All it has is the transfer cable and the power cable, and I think that's a LAN printer. That's probably more likely a printer, and the infrared transfer, which I'm probably not going to use because the cable is fine. I prefer it. Okay, so yeah, that's the Alphasmart Neo 2. Bye bye, friends. We'll talk again soon.